How would I see it?
Hi everyone. We're just working how you find us, which is the good question when you've just done this for the first time. If anybody knows, they can let us know.
Oh no, I found it.
Oh, we're there. Oh, good. Fantastic.
Share.
So this is new for us, and we're going to give it a go. So we've got a nice recipe today, macarons, which everybody enjoys eating them. So let's see if we can all enjoy making them. Here in my recipe book, if anybody has one of these at home, please use this to go along with. It'll guide you along the way. I shall just talk a little bit while you all get ready. Hopefully you all got the recipe with the ingredients, but I can quickly go through that now just in case anybody joining us wants to get the ingredients together. So the ingredients are as follows. For the macaroon, you need 100 grams of almond flour, which is 3.5 ounces of almond flour, to 100 grams of icing sugar, the same. And then you need 2 egg whites and 55 grams of sugar and a pinch of salt. There's 2 separate things going to happen here today. We're going to make first meringue in here, and then we're going to sieve our almond and icing sugar in here, and then join them both together. Okay. So I'm hoping everybody's got those ingredients together today. There are buttercream filling that you need to go inside it. So today we're going to make some French buttercream. So if you have a little bit of unsalted butter or some butter in the fridge, you need about 125 grams, something like that. If you don't worry, you can just make some buttercream later when you get some butter. I know it's not easy to go to the shops, but or you can just eat your macaroon with nothing. It's fine, whatever you feel like. So what I'm going to do to start with is Laura's going to be here to try and answer anything for us as we go along. If you've got any questions, you can just text us on Facebook or on here on live chat, and she will reply in some way.
Take your time because people will just start seeing it. You know, like just keep talking for a minute.
And I have my director over here who will keep me slowed down, because when I'm doing this, I get excited, I get started, and away we go. So this is our first live stream that we've done on YouTube, and we have done it on Facebook. And normally I have both the children next to me, and that's very possible that at the moment my daughter's sleeping and my son is, he's enjoying the iPad time that he gets every day. So macaroons, very simple, basically almond flour and icing sugar, egg whites and sugar for meringue, gluten-free, can't be bad. You must sieve the almonds, the ground almonds, most important, and you must sieve the icing sugar together. The lighter you can get that, the better, and the better for your meringue in the end. We will incorporate a colour into the meringue today. I'm going to put some poppy red in today. Try and use the paste or gel colours rather than the liquids, because the liquids make the mixture too wet. You never really add the colour to the meringue. We add it in to the mix as we mix the meringue in, and I will demonstrate that as we go along. So liquid colours or paste colours are much better than the gel colours or paste colours are much better than liquid colour. Eggs, medium, 2 medium eggs. We're going to keep one egg yolk back today for our buttercream. And our French buttercream is basically egg. You make like a custard with egg and sugar, egg yolk and sugar and milk, and then we put a lot of butter into that. It's French, and that's the way it goes. So if I'm not sure if everybody's going to be there yet or ready to go. I'm hoping so. We're about 6 minutes in. So I hope everybody can see me. What I'm going to try and do as I go along here is I'm going to try and lift my bowl so you can see. I'm going to drop the camera down slightly. So you missed the bald part of my head. That's called home haircut. So hopefully you can see that a lot better. Is that good? Laura, I should look at the director over there. Oh, you can't see on there?
It's not the same. It's a little delayed. So between
it's a little delayed. That's good. Okay, so, well, I can just carry on then. You'll just see me as I go along. So the first thing I'm going to do before we actually start our meringue is I'm going to sieve our almonds. So if you have a nice sieve, if you don't worry, just pour your ground almonds in the bowl with the icing sugar. If you have a sieve, it is better to do it with a sieve. Okay, so we just basically, we have a little rubber spatula, which is quite good for this, rather than this metal spoon. If you have a metal spoon, whatever, fine. Wooden spoon, it's okay. I have a metal bowl. I like metal bowls. If you've got a glass bowl, you can use that. It doesn't really matter. Mine's got a nice rubber bottom there, so it doesn't slip around. Okay, and I shall talk as I sieve. Now, why this recipe is so simple is it's because we just use regular meringue that you make with the egg whites and sugar, rather than the French meringue, the Italian meringue, which you have to, take the temperature of everything, which is a little bit more, not difficult, but a little bit more work. Whereas just making a simple meringue where you whisk the egg whites and sugar and a little pinch of salt, easy stuff. So it just takes a minute just to make sure we get that in there. If you give it kind of helps. But yeah, we want to try, the almonds are quite coarse, so you want to try and get them through there like that. And as you can see, I'm just spatulaing around until they're through. You're going to get a few bits at the bottom, which will be larger lumps. Those ones you can just discard back into the pot that you actually got them out of, or throw them straight in the trash. And I shall show you as I get to the bottom there. As you see, I've got these little lumps at the bottom there. Just last bit, and those ones are not going to go through, so I'll just drop them in. They're not, it's less than a couple of grams, so it's not really worth the worry. Okay, and then on top of that, we're going to sift our icing sugar. So we've got our 100 grams of icing sugar, 3.5 ounces roughly. So, I mean, if you want to round that up, you can just do 4 ounces of almonds to 4 ounces of icing sugar. That will be fine. Again, sieve it through, give it a little tap. Icing sugar goes through a little bit easier, he says, than the almonds. Now, our macaroons take around 15 minutes to bake today. And they take about 15 minutes of resting time before you bake them. What they need to do is they need to dry out. And why they dry out is we get a nice skin over a macaroon, so that when they hit the heat in the oven, they will just pop up and you get that nice lift and that nice ring around the bottom, hopefully. It can all go wrong when you're live, you know that. Even if you've been doing it for 30 years, it can still go wrong. Okay, so in my bowl we have almonds and we have icing sugar. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to mix them together a little bit. I'm not going to try and lump them together, just to give them a little turn like that. Okay, I'm going to put that to one side. And then we come to meringue. Now your bowl needs to be clean and grease-free. Please just wash it up. Use some washing up liquid and afterwards rinse it out cold water. Give it a nice dry out so that it's grease-free. You haven't got any grease in there for our meringues to work perfect. Egg whites are very delicate. If you're using cold eggs straight from the fridge, you can add a touch of sugar at the start. That kind of helps them get stronger as they go along, rather than just straight from the fridge, because then they're a little bit weaker. Okay, so that's if you're using cold eggs. Mine are room temperature. I lived in Bermuda for a while, so all of my eggs were always cold, but here it doesn't really matter. So here we go. We have our 2 egg whites, which I pour into my bowl. Okay. Okay. We just need to have a little drop of this before we start meringuing, because it's a tough job. Okay. What's it, Floyd? There we go. So what I do right at the beginning is a little pinch of salt. So just fine ground salt, a little pinch, just breaks everything down. So I'm going to be a bit noisy now. I'm going to whisk. So if you've got a little hand whisker, fantastic, electric whisker. If you're going to do this by hand, we'll see you in about an hour because it will take you that long to get it there. But hopefully you've got some kind of implement for whisking meringue. I can wait for a second while you go to the cupboard if you want and find one, or if your husband is great or your wife is great at whisking, whoever it is, put them on that job and just leave them in a corner. Okay, so off we go. The way to wake up a sleeping baby is to turn on an electric whisk while she's in the bedroom above you. And what we're trying to do here, what we're trying to do here is we're trying to get this so this is firm, but I used this recipe the other day with fresh eggs from the chickens from the neighbour next door, and I don't think I've ever made meringue so strong. Oh, back the camera. There we go. So what you need is you need your meringue like that, and if you just put your whisk in, it should stay pretty, keep little peaks in there. So what we do now is simply add our 55 grams of sugar. We don't just throw our 55 grams of sugar. We do it in stages. So we're going to do it in thirds, three times. We're going to add a little bit, a little bit, and a little bit, and whisk it until it goes nice and glossy and white and fluffy. And then hopefully Will can hold it up and it holds it in the bowl rather than just dropping onto the table. Let's have a go. All in now. You'll see your meringue will actually bulk up quite a bit. Make sure all that sugar dissolves into our egg white, and I can see it's getting very shiny and smooth. Just test to see how stiff it is. Not too bad. Just a second more. And there you have your meringue. Okay, it should stay there, which it does. And pop that into there. So now we have our two most important elements of meringue. We have macarons. We have our whisked meringue, and we have our almonds and icing sugar together. Now, like I said to you before, there's a way of putting colours into meringues. I have tried it, put it into the meringue itself, but I find the meringue becomes a bit weaker. So what I do is I attach a little bit to my spatula, and so I get a bit of this red gel, and I basically just smear it onto the end of my spatula like so. So I add some red on there. Okay. Make sure you put the top on. Don't lick that because your tongue will be red for a week.
Oh, Amy just said add icing sugar or regular sugar.
Oh, icing sugar, yes. To the meringue, you add regular sugar. Yes, icing sugar is for the actual macaron and almond mix, which is here. The macaron mix, which is...
say hi, Amy, because Amy from Bermuda.
Oh, Amy from Bermuda. Hi, Amy from Bermuda.
Not there anymore. So.
Okay, so yes, you need regular sugar for your meringue, and you need icing sugar in with your ground almonds, okay? And Amy says, thanks. Thanks, Amy. I forgot I'm supposed to read this bit as well. So.
Yeah, well, because I can't answer it from this side.
So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take my meringue and I'm going to just plop it into the center of my almond and icing sugar mixture. And the thing you want to try and do here is keep your meringue nice and light. So rather than just mix it all up like that where it all deflates, we don't want that. We want to try and hold that as long as possible. So the best way to do that is just basically keep running your spatula around the edge of the meringue rather than straight through it. Okay, and if you rotate round a few times, you'll find the meringue suddenly is going to grab hold of your almonds and your icing sugar and pick it up. Okay.
Amy says when she tried them in Bermuda, they didn't work. So
could be
hopefully...
could be humidity. Could be humidity. That does affect it. But you know, everything gets a little moist. The icing sugar, the almond. But yeah, so I'm just going to put that down a bit just so I can just get that round there. And you just keep rotating that round for about 2 or 3 minutes until all of your icing sugar and almond is incorporated. You'll find with these rubber spatulas, you can get right underneath the bowl, right underneath the mixture without flattening it. Whereas a spoon, sometimes it kind of whacks into the meringue and knocks it back. Okay, so you can see I'm getting a little bit of a pink color there. Now for flavoring your buttercream, which is where you put your nice bit of flavor into your meringues, you can do anything you like. You can do a nice lemon flavor meringue. Obviously you'll use a yellow color or a lemon flavored color into your meringue for that one. Pistachio, obviously green, and so on. I mean, but you flavor your buttercream, that's the trick, with whatever you want, you know, raspberries. We'll just keep them plain. So I'm nearly there, but I'm just mixing it in just to make sure. And as you can see, I've still got a ball. It's a little deflated now, but it's nowhere near as much of a deflated macaron as it would be as if I'd gone crazy beating my macaron to a pulp. So once you get it to that kind of consistency, okay, where it's all mixed in, I've got a couple more questions. Is this?
Let's see. I'll read it. Oh, it's hi Jana in Bermuda, and she says I've tried twice in Bermuda and can't get it right.
Yeah,
so,
Bermuda.
Any tips about the humidity in Bermuda?
Okay, the only thing I can say really is make sure that you don't have your eggs refrigerated, because you find that in Bermuda your eggs are refrigerated. So try and leave them out to the room temperature. Make sure your ACs are cranked up a little bit. We used to make them in the bakery at Supermart, and they were fine. Well, I never made them, actually. The other guys did, but they make them there and at Buzz, and they're fine. They come out lovely, but the AC definitely helps. Warm egg whites, and make sure that your almond flour is not too moist. You know, put it in a nice dry spot. That's all I can suggest, really. Okay, so ta-da! So what we're going to do is just, you know, need a little medicine.
Cheers.
Yes, cheers.
Although it might be a bit early for them over there.
Santé. So we need to now pipe our macaroon. So off the internet, if you want, you can buy it. You can print off, download, do it like print off. They have macaroon templates if you're not very good at piping, and you simply place one of these underneath your baking paper, your parchment paper, so you can see it like that. So when you actually come to pipe, you can get it exact, okay? But I won't use that, because you probably haven't got one of them just lying around. But if you want to do that, you know, I show this to people when they come and do the lesson here. You can actually just print these off of the internet, and that's great. So hopefully at home you have a piping bag, or you have a plastic bag, like a Ziploc, if you want, plastic bag, freezer bag, something which you've got one end you can open and the other end, so which you can use like a piping bag. So you would basically get it all to one end like so, and then pipe through there, cut a bit off of there. These are not as good as a piping bag, but it works. It works. So what I'm going to try and do, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to lower the screen down as I pipe here, but I'm just going to try and show you how to.
Jenna says never too early for cheers.
Oh, I'll do it again then. Cheers. There's never a shortage of wine in France, even with COVID. So I hope everybody who's joining us or is actually following along are enjoying it, and I'm not going too fast. Can you get me some scissors, please, or out the drawer? So there we go. We have our meringue in our piping bag. I should get rid of that.
Do you need it?
No. Children might want to lick it. So don't cut it up here somewhere, because you just have one big macaroon and you don't really want that. You just want about just a couple of centimetres, no, a centimetre. Start small, and if you want to go bigger, you can. Now, the idea with the macaroon is to try and keep an even pressure as you pipe it out.
Remember what to tell people, because some people are awkward with their holding the bag.
Right. So when you pipe, all your pressure and piping, when you pipe, you push from the back here. See how I've had my hand like this? I have it hooked into my thumb, sitting in my palm. I close my fingers and I push from the back. I don't push from down here. I push from the back. I've also twisted the bag so that none of the filling goes that way. Okay. And if you keep your hand tight at the top, it shouldn't go back. Okay. So I'm just going to drop the camera down a touch.
It's coming.
Okay. So you want to just push down. Don't lift up. Just want it to spread out. I'm just going to open my bag slightly more. And then try and keep an even size all the way around. If you get the odd one smaller or an odd one bigger, that's fine, because when you come later to join them together, you can just match them up yourself. But if you keep that even pressure from the back, now you can make your macaroon as big as you want. You know, you don't have to do them this size. You can do little tiny ones. You can do really big, fat, huge ones if you want. Okay. So there you go. So there's our macaroon. Pretty even. I've done it a while, but it's pretty even. It doesn't matter. As long as you take your time and you're steady, you should get a reasonably even macaroon. There's a little trick that you must do once you've made your macaroons. You may have done this if you've done it before, is there are air bubbles and pockets in your macaroon. So the best way to get rid of it is whack it on the table. So what happens there is it's just dispersed any air bubbles that are in the top. If you see big air bubbles sitting at the top, you can actually get a pin and just pop them if you want. So that's that. These need to sit for at least 15 minutes. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put them over on the stove, just on the top, just to dry out. And this top needs to dry out, so when you touch it, it doesn't stick to your finger. It's dry. Okay, and then we can put it in our oven. I'm going to turn I can turn this up now. I'm going to turn the oven on at 140 degrees Celsius, which is about 285 Fahrenheit. And just to get the oven warmed up for this 15 minutes while these are sitting. And And then preheating an oven is the idea is to get it warm, and not just to preheat it and put something straight in, but to get it warm for a few, a good 20 minutes or so that she's nice. It's going to hold its heat well. Okay, I have a fan assisted oven. It doesn't matter if you don't or you do, but obviously I find them better, get a more even heat. I have an electric. If you have gas, your oven's your oven. Good luck. I can't really tell unless I've used your oven. So I'm going to put them to one side, and then I'm going to demonstrate on how to make buttercream, the French style buttercream. The ingredients for that I can tell you as we go along. If you haven't got them in the cupboard right now, it doesn't matter. You can look at this video again later, and I also put the recipe up on Facebook for anybody who wants to do it afterwards. It's a very simple process, so I'm going to show you how to do that. So I'm just going to take my macaroons to one side. Okay, so for my French buttercream, I will be simply making a custard, but it's not with. I'm not making the custard with corn flour this time. I'm going to make a custard with just the sugar and milk. I'm going to heat that up. I'm going to whisk together some egg yolk and some sugar, and pour that into the heated milk and slowly whisk that over the stove till it goes thick. Laura will probably try and carry the computer over when I actually go to the oven and see if we can keep the stream going so I can demonstrate that. Okay, so what I have here in this recipe is actually, I'll read it to you so you can have it. It's I know what it is. It's 75 grams of milk to 35 grams of sugar, which goes in here. So I've halved this because you don't need that for all the macaroons.
The regular sugar.
Regular sugar, yeah, not powdered sugar, regular sugar. So I just basically pour that sugar straight into the milk and just whisk it together a little bit. What I'm going to do with that is I'm going to put that on the heat in a second. Okay. So the recipe is as follows: 75 grams of milk, 35 grams of sugar. That's together. Then you have another 35 grams of sugar, which I have here, with 2 egg yolks. But I have half this recipe, so there is only 1 egg yolk. Oh, yucky. Look at that. It broke on me. It didn't just come out the pan. That's okay. It's nothing like mess. So, as I say, we're making like a custard. So all I do is simply whisk together the sugar and the egg. As I say, this is a half. I've done a half mixture here. Now you can put a little bit of vanilla into this if you want to. You can put a drop of rum into it if you want to. Okay. So there you go. So that's just a custard mix. Hopefully you can see that. Maybe not, but there you go. Okay. So Laura is now going to bring over the computer to the stove as I do this little bit.
Okay, tell me if it's...
Okay, come in a little bit. Perfect. Down a little bit. Lovely. Just for a second, I'm going to turn the heat on. That's the sugar and the milk. And we'll just dissolve that sugar and milk. This won't take long at all because it's hardly any milk. A little bit of sugar. And you just want to just dissolve that. Yeah, that's good. And she'll just boil. Bring it to the boil. And so I've only done a half mix, so this is a small amount just for what we're doing today. Just waiting to see that bubble. But you can make just regular buttercream, you know, like icing sugar and powdered sugar and butter, and whisk it together for your meringue, for your macaroon. Okie dokie, just about there. I don't know about everybody else, but there's a big shortage of yeast in France. So I'm now using sourdough starter for most of my breads and wraps and anything else I make which is yeast based. And if you look on our YouTube site, you can see how to make sourdough starter. So that's just boiled now. So I'm just going to gently pour that into the custard mix. And keep turning it round, whisking it round, like so. And then I'm going to put that back in to the pan, like that. Sticking them up there. With a little bit of residue on the bottom there, make sure it's all out. Okay, then return it to the heat. I dropped the heat down slightly so it's not as fierce as it was when I brought it to the boil. And we're just going to bring that up, heat it up, and it will thicken, hopefully. It looks good to me. Yeah, so if you check out the YouTube site, you can see the 6 days of creating a starter.
And you can use gluten-free flour too.
Oh yeah, someone did it with me.
Because Amy does gluten-free.
That was Amy, was it? Yeah. So Amy did it with us.
No. But I'm saying you can use, never mind, just say gluten-free or regular flour.
I think you just said it. There you go. So it's just starting to thicken now. Okay. Okay, there you go. You take that back now for me, please, Lauren. As usual. You haven't missed much, mate, just how to make a macaroon, and I'm sure how to do that. So once you've got your little bit of custard made, pour that into a bowl. And we need to cool that down a little bit, so we're going to whisk that before we actually add our butter, because if we add our butter when it's warm like this, we're just going to have a big bowl of oil. So once again, I shall make a noise. And I can do two things at the same time. I've always been blessed with that. So here I have 125 grams of unsalted butter. It's been out all morning, so it is. Someone else just messaged. It's been out on the counter, so it's soft.
Say hi to Faye from Portland.
Oh, hello, Faye and friend. How is it in Portland? Lovely, I hope. Okay. So I'm basically just cooling it down. That's all I'm doing. Slowly, I'm going to drop in a piece of butter. Now, hopefully I don't get butter over the screen, which I did the other day when I tried it, as it flew out the bowl. Basically, you just keep adding a piece of butter every time. Drizzle today. Oh dear. We had some rain last night, which was good for the garden. Nice day today, blue skies. As I say, I'm slowly incorporating the butter now, which, as you can see, is a lot of butter for this, but it's French, it's France and it's French, so it's supposed to have a lot of butter. So I did a video the other day of making French baguettes, and a French lady on Facebook tried our recipe and watched it and had a go and made a success of her baguettes. And she said that's the first time she's ever made a great baguette. So, hey, check that one out as well, how to make a French baguette. Now it's starting to get thicker now.
Well, of course it's sunny in Cambridge. You said it's sunny.
Really? Okay, so that is all of our butter now incorporated with our custard. And you just want to keep whisking for a second just to make sure that's all mixed in. So what we have is half a block of butter with a bit of custard poured on top, but you know, beautiful. So what I need to do is put a little bit of colour in that to go with my macaroons, because I've made my red macaroons. So I need a little bit of red colour to go in this, so I have red cream. So once again, I take a little bit of my red colour and I smear it onto my whisk. And
hi, Mary.
hi, Mary.
Mary wants to know if you can use food color paste, not liquid. That's what you're using.
It's much better to use a paste rather than the liquid, in my opinion. I find that if you're using liquid colours, they're too runny in the recipe, so they change it too much, whereas the gels or the pastes are far better, far better. And if you get some really good pastes, they're such a good strong colour, and they last longer, which is another wonderful thing. So there we go. French buttercream, custard with butter. You taste that. Oh, no, it's good. It's fantastic. It's fantastic. So that's traditionally what goes into our...
Oh, she says she only has liquid.
That's fine if you only have liquid. But next time, if you can get some gel or paste, that's better. Okay?
Yeah, but you had to order it from...
you didn't
get it here, did you?
No, I didn't get it here because I'd only been here a short time, and I just ordered some online, which you can do quite easily on eBay or Amazon. They sell gel paste colours. So
I think the next question is how long
is
do
a
they
piece of string.
take? No, how long do they take to bake? Which I think you were just going to say, but Amy wants to know how long do they take.
Okay, so the macaroons take roughly 15 minutes to bake. And what I normally do is I rotate the tray halfway through the bake. Even though I've got a fan-assisted oven, it's a baker's thing. You just make sure that then every side is evenly baked. But 15 minutes is total baking time. So we now have our cream and we have our macaroon. Okay, boom. I shall quickly show you the macaroons now, which have been sitting for about just under 15 minutes. And I have my helper. There's our macaroons. So Huey, you never saw that, but there's our macaroons. Hopefully yours will look like that too. I know that. So I'm just touching the macaroons to see if they're dry, and mine are dry. So that means that it's perfect to go in the oven now. As I say, 15 minutes. My oven is just about on temperature, I think. I'll just check that. So Laura's just going to turn the camera around towards the oven so that you can see. There's our macaroons. 140 degrees.
Fahrenheit. How much Fahrenheit?
285 Fahrenheit. Cheers, everybody. I hope people in France have a glass of wine on the go already. I'm sure people in Cayman and Bermuda and the US have probably not got a glass of wine yet, but you never know. It's, lockdown. Huey says, who cut your hair? Well, the hairdresser's is closed. Who do you think? Patrick did it for me.
Now, would it take longer to dry in Bermuda for them to dry in
My
Bermuda?
hair?
No.
It doesn't take long at all.
No, the macaroons.
Oh, the macaroons.
Could take longer in Bermuda than.
I mean, if you've got your AC cranked up, I don't think that'll be a problem. I think they'll dry out pretty quick, 15, 20 minutes. As long as you just leave them until the top is dry, then you know it's fine.
I'm asking that for Jana.
Okay, yeah, I think with AC cranked up, it should be fine. It should be good. It's just the humidity, and normally if you've got good AC in your house, you lose a lot of that humidity. And maybe we can ask Huey that question, because I'm sure he's made macaroons at home many times. Cheers.
I don't think Huey's made macaroons at home.
No, maybe not. So what we're going to do is once they come out the oven, we're going to let them cool for about 5 minutes, just until they're cool enough, and I'll demonstrate how to put the cream into it. And then you can go off and make macaroons for, what does it say? How to fill. I'm going to tell you how to fill 15 minutes. Next week, we are going to do a live, as this is working, a live pork pie class. So next week, we're going to do a pork pie class. So if you want to join us on that, I think we're going to probably do it on Tuesday. If you want to join us on that, it'll be the same kind of time, around 4 o'clock in the afternoon here. I'm going to make a hot water pastry. And am I going to use the what? Let's see the rest of the family. Okay, well, Beatrice is asleep. Patrick is having iPad time. And Laura
is hiding.
I'm not quite sure why she's. Maybe you should say hello.
I don't.
You don't want to say hello? No, she's camera shy.
I'm wearing a Cayman t-shirt.
So if you want to join us next week for you're wearing a oh yeah you are. I was wearing a Bermuda one earlier. If you want to join us next week for pork pie, you're going to need, if you're going out on your little shopping once a week trip, you're going to need some regular plain flour, Now, I use lard. I get lard here in France. I don't know if you can get that in Cayman, but you can use a butter if you want, or a vegetable lard. But it is better if you have like pork lard. So lard. Then you need a little bit of salt, very simple, and water.
Can you make it gluten-free?
I've never made gluten-free hot water pastry. Try it. Yeah, if you want to have a go with it, see what happens. I don't know what reaction you'll get when you add the hot liquid, but try it. So hot water pastry basically is made with melted lard and water, which you pour into your flour with salt and make a nice hot pastry. And then we're going to shape our pork pie.
Why don't you show them part of your recipe book? Actually, some of them that are watching have it, I think.
Yeah, I think some people have got the recipe book. But yeah, so the other thing you're going to need is some nice shoulder pork. So if you've got some shoulder pork joints or chops in the freezer or something like that, you could use shoulder pork is the best. If you just got a regular stew, chopped up pork, whatever it is, that's fine. You can add bacon to it if you want. I haven't actually got any bacon. Maybe I'll get some shopping before. So you can put a little bit of bacon in with it. Salt and pepper and a bit of parsley if you want, garlic. It's up to you what you do with your filling, but there's your pork pie. That's what we're going to be doing on Tuesday at 4 o'clock. Okay.
You want to show this?
I can show that for the French people. So I find this lard in Carrefour in France. Okay. So if you're shopping and you go to Carrefour, look in the butter aisle and you'll find something that looks like that. And that is actually pork lard, which is fantastic and perfect for pork pies. Thank you. I don't know what you would use if you haven't got that in Bermuda. Maybe, as I say, you could replace it with butter possibly. So yeah, we're going to make pork pies. And if this works, then I'm going to try and do a live feed at least every few days and see how that goes. Yeah. Any questions from anybody about macaroons or anything to do with baking? My cousin's just joined us. Hi, Cuz.
Oh, she's been watching the whole time. She just popped her head to say.
How important is it to drink the wine at the same time? At the same time as baking? Most important. Most important. Every bakery comes with bottles of wine when you're working. And my friend Huey, who's a baker there, will, definitely agree with me there. You have alcohol on the premises at all times. So which is most important. Which wine goes best with macaroon? The wet kind. A nice Merlot. A nice Merlot is the answer to that, Janine. With the macaroons, Faye is writing. Oh no, she's gone. Huey agrees with the alcohol in bakeries. Good. He's a baker in the Cayman Islands, my good friend, who is now not a baker. He makes rum. What a wonderful job. So yeah, he's changed his career completely. Now he makes rum and just bakes at home, which is cool. Any more questions on macaroons or on anything while I'm waiting for my macaroons to bake? Where can we buy the recipe book? Oh, it's on sale on all bookshops across the planet. No, it's not. No. Yeah.
Huey. Oh.
You can order them. We've actually just sent out our last batch because obviously with COVID we haven't been able to post much. So what we've got at the moment has just gone out. But I will have in a new stock as soon as they start to ship from the UK again, because we can't get anything from the UK at the moment. But as soon as we get the borders are open again, then I will have the books, and you can just email us on Facebook and order one. They're €14 and US.
It's €20 to ship it.
€20 shipped. And that's the total price. €20 shipped. Yeah. So you can just order that, and as soon as we get them, we can deliver them for you. Not a problem. I'm going to go and turn my tray round of my macaroons.
Oh, sorry about that. I was slow there. Ooh, look at that.
I did give her the tip of I'm going to turn the tray of the macaroons.
I'm fired, right?
You are.
I'm not getting paid.
So yeah. We got another question. What was that one? Song on the guitar or on the fiddle. Actually, Laura could actually play something in the background.
Jeopardy theme.
Off you go. Go and get the viola and play us something.
I don't want you to.
Who wants to hear Laura play some music while we have this 10-minute wait?
I don't.
Yes, yes, yes.
This is not fair.
Well, you don't have to stand in front of the screen, sweetheart. You can stand behind the screen.
I have to. My violin's out.
Go get it.
Okay.
Oh, we got lots of yeses. Oh, yes.
Okay. Ask them what they want to hear.
Oh, yes. What would you like to hear? That's a good question, actually. You're going to get about 400 requests now. Anybody got any requests for Laura to play the violin? I can think of a couple. But Baby Shark, maybe. Oh, and Patrick and Beatrice. You mean I have to wake my baby to play music for you, Huey? No, I don't think so. Oh, you don't want a woken baby doing that. Oasis.
Oh.
You didn't say the What's It Girls, Spice Girls.
Now Beatrice is really going to wake up.
Okay, just do it.
What am I playing?
Anything that we said. Oh, Bubbles. You got to play Bubbles. I just saw Patrick. I don't know that song.
What?
Okay, off you go. Anything you want. Baby Shark.
No one requested that. You did. I'm not playing Baby Shark.
Bark.
No, hang on.
She wouldn't do very well on a jam night.
Well, this is a bit of pressure.
Everybody would like you to play. I want to break free.
Who's that?
Janine said she wants to break free. Well, I know you want to break free, don't we all?
I don't.
The macaroons will be ready in a minute.
Okay, fine. I'm going to play something.
Anything. Anything.
Okay.
But not Twinkle, Twinkle, Little Star.
This is macaroon waiting music.
Macaroon waiting music.
You wanted me to play, and then you do that.
Janine says, Keith, you should be dancing. So should you.
Don't.
Everybody wants to see you play.
Oh, sorry.
So the macaroons are just about ready now. The intermission is over. Lovely Laura, I wondered when there could be more wine, when there will be more wine in the glass. Once again, France, they do it by the box. You know, you never run out. Bravo, says Huey. And Keith's G-string.
What?
Okay, so the macaroons are now done. They've had 15 minutes. That was perfect. I'm going to get them out the oven. Laura's going to put her violin down so she can now be a cameraman.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Voila.
Where am I going?
Zoom
Going
in.
here.
You can zoom in. So we're just going to give them about 5 minutes just to cool off. Okay, pop it back. Thank you. Okay, so our buttercream, we're going to have another bag or another plastic bag if you've got one. You can flavour your buttercream. So like I put some red colour in. I mean, if you had some raspberry flavour or something like that, you could add that to it. And yeah, and you could also put, you know, real fruit. You put some chopped strawberry in there if you like. Anything you desire, really. You can put into flavour your buttercream. But for today's purpose, we're just having red buttercream. Okay. Now this buttercream, if you make a nice big batch of it, will actually keep very well in the freezer. So if you don't use it all on the day you make your macaroons, I simply wrap the bag up and put it straight in the freezer. And next time, just take it out, give it an hour or two to come back and use it. It's fine. It's lovely. So once again.
Oh, Huey, stop it. I coughed, yes.
She's wearing her mask, Huey. That's why you can't see her. So once again.
Air on the G string. You didn't say that. Thanks, Janine, for saying fabulous.
And perfect. Get so last but not least, with my warm macaroons, don't do it with warm macaroons, let them go cool. You get 2 macaroons that go pretty much at the same size together. That was bad. Together, okay, like so. And we simply take our cream, pipe a nice blob of cream in the center, drop it down like that, and there you go. Okay, now this cream's going to melt because they're warm, but that's basically it. So cool down your macaroon.
Oh no.
Cool down your macaroon and fill them with cream and then enjoy. And I dropped that one on the floor. So that was our macaroon class. Any questions you've got for us, please email us on Facebook. We'll answer this evening. We'll be at home. We'll be sitting here with the kids. Next time, hopefully, Beatrice will be up, so then it'll be more entertaining. She loves making pastries, so the pork pie on Tuesday, she'll be there involved. She'll be full on. Sorry that she was asleep today. She is the star of the show. And Laura's going to play us out with a tune. Thanks, everybody, for joining us, and good luck with making your macaroons.
Thanks, everybody.
You know, you always need to do something different with a laptop. That was it.
What happened? Is it off? Is it still on?